Amara loved old things. She had always been fascinated by the stories they held, the secrets they kept, and the history they carried. She loved the way they felt in her hands, heavy with history. The textures, the weight, and the craftsmanship spoke to her in a language only she understood. Each piece in her collection whispered stories of times gone by. There were chipped teacups and faded photographs, each with its own tale to tell. She had a worn, leather-bound book of fairy tales, its pages yellowed with age and filled with enchanting stories. And a tiny silver hand mirror, its surface slightly tarnished, but still reflecting a bygone era. Amara's favorite place in the world was Mrs. Periwinkle's antique shop. It was a haven for her, a place where she could lose herself in the past. It was a treasure trove of trinkets and wonders, each item waiting to be discovered and cherished. Every Saturday, she would visit the shop, eager to see what new treasures awaited her. Amara would spend hours lost in the jumble of forgotten objects, each one a potential new addition to her collection. One Saturday, something shiny caught her eye. It glinted in the dim light, beckoning her to come closer. It was tucked away in a dusty corner, almost hidden from view. It was a tarnished silver locket, nestled in faded velvet. Amara picked it up, feeling its cool metal against her skin. She felt a jolt of excitement. This was a discovery unlike any other she had made before. This was no ordinary find. It was a piece of history, a treasure waiting to reveal its secrets. The locket was cold in Amara's hand. It felt as if it had been waiting for her. It was heart-shaped and engraved with delicate swirls. With trembling fingers, Amara opened the locket. Inside, she found two faded photographs. One was of a young man with kind eyes. The other was of a beautiful woman with a mischievous smile. There was something else in the locket. A folded piece of paper fell out. Amara carefully unfolded it. Written in elegant cursive were the words, "Meet me at the old mango tree by the riverbank. Sunset, Lila." Amara's heart skipped a beat. Who was Lila, and what was the story behind this mysterious message? Amara couldn't get the locket out of her mind. It was as if it held a secret, a piece of her past she had yet to uncover. The old mango tree by the riverbank. It sounded so familiar, like a distant memory calling out to her. She raced to her grandmother, clutching the note tightly in her hand, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Gran, do you know anything about an old mango tree by the river?" she asked breathlessly, her eyes wide with curiosity. Her grandmother, with eyes that held the wisdom of many years, smiled gently, a twinkle of recognition in her gaze. "Why, that sounds like the place where your grandfather used to take me for picnics," she said, her voice filled with nostalgia. "He would tell me the most wonderful stories under that very tree," she continued, her smile growing wider. Amara showed her grandmother the locket and the note, her hands trembling slightly. A wave of sadness washed over her grandmother's face, her eyes reflecting a deep, unspoken sorrow. "I haven't thought about that tree in years," she whispered, her voice barely audible, as if speaking too loudly might shatter the fragile memories. "It held so many memories," she added, her eyes misting over as she held the locket close to her heart. Amara felt a surge of determination. She had to know more. She had to find out who Lila was. The note felt like a whisper from the past. It was a message that needed to be delivered. Amara decided to go to the riverbank. It was almost sunset. The sky was ablaze with hues of orange and purple. As she walked, she imagined the young man and woman from the photographs. Were they in love? What had happened to them? Finally, she reached the riverbank. There, in the fading light, stood the old mango tree. It was gnarled and ancient, its branches reaching out like welcoming arms. As Amara approached the tree, she saw him. The tree was ancient, its branches sprawling wide, casting a comforting shade. It had witnessed countless seasons, much like the man who sat beneath it. An elderly man sat at the foot of the tree. His posture was relaxed, as if he had found solace in this spot for many years. His eyes were closed and he was humming a soft melody. The tune was familiar, a lullaby from a time long past. Amara's heart pounded in her chest. She felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety, unsure of what she would discover. Could this be the man from the photograph? The resemblance was uncanny, but she needed to be sure. She took a deep breath and called out. Her voice trembled slightly, betraying her nerves. "Excuse me," she said softly. Her words seemed to hang in the air, waiting for a response. The man's eyes opened slowly. They were filled with a depth of emotion that spoke of countless stories. He looked up at Amara, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. It was as if he was seeing a ghost from his past. "I believe this belongs to you," Amara said, holding out the silver locket. The man's face crumpled. The locket was a tangible piece of his history. Tears welled up in his eyes. They were tears of both joy and sorrow, mingling together. "Lila," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. The name carried a weight of memories. "This locket belonged to my beloved Lila. It was a gift from a time when their love was young and full of promise. She would meet me here under this very tree every day at sunset. This tree was their sanctuary, a witness to their love." He told Amara about their love story. Each word painted a vivid picture of their past. He spoke about their dreams and their promises. They had planned a future together filled with hope and joy. He shared how Lila had passed away many years ago. Amara listened intently, feeling the weight of his loss. She realized that the locket was more than just an object. It was a vessel of memories, a bridge to the past. It was a symbol of a love that had endured time and loss, a testament to a bond that was unbreakable. It was a reminder that even though people we love may be gone, their memories live on. They remain with us in our hearts and in the stories we share.